Hello and welcome to Backpage Pass. It's our lucky game week number 7 review. I don't know what's lucky about it, except that I'm joined by the always charming
Hey,
Luke Duffy.
it's myself.
It's just the two of us, so we haven't been that lucky with the recruiting extra potters because it's just him and me being John O'Donnell. But as Paul McCartney once almost kind of said, all you need is Duff. And so Duff, sir, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you very much. It feels a bit weird without Mark here.
Yeah.
A lot more space, if you will, because he's a bit of a...
You calling him fat?
No, he's a very well built man, to be fair. If you don't know him, but he's
built.
Well, he exists. We'll put it that way. But he's somebody who commands a lot of respect in the podcast. So he does. So we'll see how this goes.
It's okay. It's going to go well.
Of course, going to go
Optimism.
well.
Let's start with review of Saturday and Chelsea's 4-1 win over Norwich. Chelsea showed what they're capable of here. They really just kind of took Norwich apart, didn't they?
Absolutely, they were very, very convincing. I think. Although, if I'm not mistaken, Norwich went 1-up, didn't they, through Grant Holt?
They
did, yeah. But from there, wow, I mean, it's some of the best football I think I've seen all season. Confidence, arrogance, but in a good way. And, you know, the kind of swagger that champions have. I was very impressed. A lot of people were speaking of them always playing in a Spanish way, sort of free-flowing way. Mata, Oscar, I think there was nothing really you couldn't like about the performance.
The front four, I mean, it's hard to like Chelsea, and we'll get on to that in a minute. But the front four, I love the front four, the way they interchange and just rotate around, and their interplay is always worth watching.
Mm-hmm. And even, you know, Torres, he's gotten a tough time for it, although I think he's over the worst of it now. But I mean, even he's really, I think, benefited from the likes of Mata and Oscar sitting behind them who do great work.
They do, yeah, and as well as being skillful, they also work hard, which is rare.
Yeah, I think I may have said this before. Oscar, again, for a 19-year-old who has all the skill in the world, you come to England, you think, well, they might take time to adapt or whatever it may be. But like, I've watched a few Chelsea games now, and he tracks back. He does his work. You know, I think he's a real deal. It pains me to say
he doesn't do a whole lot once he tracks back, but at least
but he's there. Yeah, he's there.
It's about
he's making the effort.
The bodies and
yeah, exactly,
creating difficult angles or whatever.
Absolutely.
As I said, there are things I don't like about Chelsea. 2 things I don't like about Chelsea.
John Terry and Ashley Cole.
There we go.
I think there's 2 things that nobody likes about Chelsea.
They both started. Is that a
act of defiance almost? Or
yeah, I mean, what's the Di Matteo? He could, like a lot of people. I mean, just strictly for the sake of their own clubs, with like those 2 players not starting, kind of destabilize the club a bit.
Yes, but
them being in the team kind of destabilizes things as well because it brings negative attention to.
Absolutely, but I think if you're a Chelsea fan, if you're affiliated with Chelsea, John Terry's been bringing you negative press for the better part of a decade, so perhaps they're kind of used to it now. And that's for Ashley Cole. He continues to be a great player, and I have reason to dislike him given what he's done to Arsenal, whatever. But no, I mean he was at one point in time the best left back in the world, still certainly up there. So I see no reason not to start him.
Now, like, if you were going to slag them, would you slag them, or would you slag them in a sarcastic way in which they were slagging you, and then you're repeating it back? Because if you did do that, I would consider that implausible, improbable, and contrived. As the Independent Commission did with their thing. They're just bastards, aren't they?
They are, but I actually think, and I've said this before, had Chelsea not been bought when they were, I truly believe that Arsenal team of 2002, 2003 could have won a few more titles, and Chelsea sort of stole it from underneath them. So, but Man City now have made Chelsea more likeable, and Roberto Di Matteo as well. I can't help but like the guy. I
didn't want him getting the job, but then he did. Because I liked AVB. I didn't like AVB losing the job.
Did you?
I did. I still like him.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I like Di Matteo a lot, and I felt he's delivered what no other manager could, and yet there's still talk of him being sacked or being moved on.
There's still pressure on him. And
absolutely a lot. And he's a Chelsea legend as well, people forget. So, I mean, surely he deserves a bit more respect.
I think. Well, hopefully he'll get at least till the end of the season. Hopefully they'll drop the 2 bastards and then do well. Norwich, they scored first. It's kind of just a silver lining. They're going to struggle.
Yeah, although Grant Holt looked threatening again at times. I mean, I think he's probably head and shoulders their best player. But they could have scored a couple more. I know Holt did miss a few chances. I think we sat here last week and we said you'd be kidding yourself if you thought Norwich would get anything from the game, and they didn't. But I still wouldn't be massive cause for concern just at the moment, I would think.
And another title contender, they're probably closest to Chelsea at the moment, they're Man City. They steamrolled Sunderland 3-0.
They did.
Good storyline for City, considering Sunderland hadn't lost a match up to that stage.
Yeah, very true. And Sunderland had proved, again, I believe Mark said last week, a bit of a bogey team. They could become a bogey team for Man City. They look good. They looked even better when Aguero came on, though. I don't know, Balotelli stormed down the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Not,
I'm a bit bored of talking about that. It's just,
yeah.
He's not happy. Whatever, just let him
go
down the tunnel.
Yeah.
He didn't kick anything at anybody. Or
I actually heard a story during the week from somebody else who said that I forget that guy who works for Sky Sports News, the Spanish guy who works in Revesta de la Liga, the really smart, talking guy. He had an interview with Mourinho recently, and he said back in 2009, 2010, when Inter won the Champions League and Mourinho was there, that they were away to Dinamo Kiev or something like that in the group stages. And Shakhtar. And Balotelli was the only fit striker they had, and he had a yellow card in the first half. And Mourinho said he spent 14 minutes of the 15-minute team talking to Balotelli, saying, look, they're going to wind you up. They know what you're about. Just please don't get sent off. We don't have another striker. And he spent 1 minute talking to the rest of the team. And in the 52nd minute, I believe it was, he was sent off.
I thought it was 46th.
40, there you go. even better again. So that sort of sums up Mario Balotelli.
Yeah. Yeah, Aguero seemed to be coming deeper and turning and making
link-up play was great.
City up to second in the league. Their season's kind of starting to take shape. They got lucky with that draw at Dortmund, but this is the best thing they could have done, was just kick on.
Yeah. So it was actually a little bit of a big game for them, but they've shown who they are.
And Sunderland, let's talk about Sunderland for a sec. They were undefeated, as I said, but they also only had one win.
Yes.
What do you make of Sunderland?
They're a little bit boring. Is that my doubt to that? As a Newcastle fan, I'm sure you're delighted I say that.
No, but I mean, I don't mind them being excited as long as we're ahead of them in the league. And every time we play them, that's all that matters.
They're a little bit boring. I've always had a lot of time for Stefan Sessegnon, although so far this season he's failed to really reproduce the form of last season. Fletcher, I think,
been pretty much dropped at this stage.
Yeah, Fletcher's proved and inspired by. But other than that, I mean, as I say, I mean, if you're a Sunderland fan, you wouldn't be worried. But I think maybe a bit of mid-table obscurity this season might be the way they end up.
I don't know. I like Adam Johnson and I like McLean and about good players. But
you say good though. You said good.
Yeah.
You didn't say great.
I didn't say. I like Adam Johnson a lot. I want to see what he's like when he gets a run in the team.
Yeah. Is it wrong that I don't like him? And I felt he was treated very badly at City.
Well, why don't you like him?
I don't know. He crosses me as a Stuart Downing, only slightly better. He's not a flash in the pan, might be the wrong word, but he makes things happen when he wants to.
Well, there we go. But he generally, whenever he gets his chance,
No, I agree. Maybe
it'll be interesting to see if it wears off, though, because Mancini always seems to have his thing about his attitude, so we're looking to see if that's... Whereas Balotelli's attitude is fine, apparently.
Yeah.
West Ham staying... Oh, I was about to say staying in London, but we were in London first, and then we went to Manchester. We're going back to London. West Ham losing 3-1 to Arsenal. Now, usually when Wenger faces a big sand team, he always goes on about the refs and they don't defend his players.
No, he doesn't know what you're talking about. He doesn't do that. He didn't see it. He didn't see it to begin with.
But, Arsenal should have had a penalty that they weren't given, and Bastille injured himself kicking Manoni in the head.
Yes. Are you talking about the Ramsey incident?
Ramsey got
tripped in the
box. A blatant trip.
I've seen them knock. At the time, I got home from work and I caught the second half. I've seen them not given, and at the time when it happened, I didn't think it was a penalty. Now, looking back on it, it was, but He was
2 yards inside the box. It's not even as if it was...
No, I know, but I don't know where the ref was positioned, but when it happened, I wasn't particularly jumping out of the chair like, Jesus Christ, that's a penalty. So, because we won, I'll give the referee the benefit of that one.
Wenger seemed to be going, you could see it just in his head, he's going penalty. You're like, if he goes the rest of the match like this, for 5 minutes after, you're like, this is about 20 minutes ago, like, for 5 minutes after this, he needs to focus on something else. He needs to focus on the actual match.
Absolutely.
Instead of, he just seems to be thinking, when I get the BBC I'm just going to take him. What else happened? Another thing 20 minutes ago, he brought on Theo Walcott just before that. 1 goal, 1 assist. Is he worth 75 grand a week?
Arsenal have a particular wage structure, and that would be good. That would make him one of the highest paid players there. To me, he's not worth it. Now, I know at one point he said, I want to play centre midfield, and we went, no.
Centre forward.
No, but he was also, then he did play centre midfield. And we sort of, I don't even know why he was there, but he was like, I want to play more, and we went, no. And he went, I want more money, and we went, no. I want to play up front, and we went, no. Now, we did play him up front, and he did play centre midfield in the League Cup, but we did play him up front. And he surprised me. The finish was a bit unreal-like, and I've been waiting a long time to see that, because...
He did it his first few games there, he could do that, and then he just stopped doing it forever.
Yeah, he fell in love with the corner flag or something, and just made a beeline for there. But no, he's not worth 75 grand a week, and if he gave me 15 million, I'd still sell him.
I think his argument will be, they make a lot of money off him in Asia. off advertising him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Well, you're making all this money off me. Can I have some money back, please?" And I mean,
Yeah, he's not wrong if he just becomes a bit more consistent, which I think he is.
Mm.
And him and Van Persie last season together were the most productive duo in the Premier League in terms of assists and goals. Together. He just needs to show a little bit more, though. I still wouldn't start him.
yeah, there you go.
Still wouldn't
I
start him.
wouldn't pay him 75 grand. I wouldn't
No,
start him.
I'd start Santi Cazorla every day of the week, but I wouldn't start him.
He's amazing. That was the goal. How good was the goal?
Uh,
How did it make you feel inside?
I tell you, well, I actually had a bit of a sore throat on Saturday. It was enough to make me scream. He's like Fabregas, but he can beat a player. He's like Fabregas and Nasri put together.
With a bit of pace as well.
With a bit of pace as well. And as Walcott says, he's both-footed as well.
And I called it an assist for Walcott. You didn't really do it. You just kind of went, there you go.
He did, and then wanted the ball back because all sort of went, nah, I think I'll just score.
I just pinged that in the corner.
Mhm.
West Ham were surprisingly attacking.
They were?
If it wasn't for Nolan really being pretty bad
Wasteful.
finisher,
Yeah.
they could have really won that game.
They could have, and I think Big Sam would say they probably at times should have. They for the first half they were, which I did manage to see later on, they were the better team. Arsenal didn't do much of anything, and the Carroll experiment, although it's now only, I think that was his first game back from injury, it's too early to tell if it will work for sure. But he was lively. I think Mertesacker was one of the few centre backs who at least can match him for height. But I mean, he was lively, and it's a pity Vaz Tay went down as well, because to me he's a sparky kind of player, someone who sort of makes things a bit of Ricardo Fuller. Remember Ricardo Fuller for Stoke?
Yeah, well,
I always liked him, just a bit sparky.
I never liked Ricardo.
I think when we were Adam Johnson, Ricardo Fuller, don't think we really were really gelling on the players we liked.
I did like Vaz Tay until he kicked Benoni.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, well, that's not nice.
Yeah, but they showed a little something. I think West Ham.
The other West Brom, beat QPR 3-2. Could we consider West Brom contenders for Europe at this stage?
I thought you were going to say the title.
Yeah, I know I did that with Everton.
Yeah,
I
no,
have
I'm
a point
messing
with
with
Everton.
Oh, you did?
Tiny little
Can you?
point.
I think you can. Shane Long. Goodness gracious me! I mean, is he the best player in the world? He might be, but I mean, he's somebody I've always had a lot of time for. In fact, he's looked up his best player in the world of the week. But he's someone I've always had a lot of time for. And if you saw him set up that first goal,
it was
unbelievable. He ran like a track and field sprinter, and then a fantastic.
He won the ball back in his own box.
Yeah,
and boom.
I think he's a fantastic work rate, and he's a player which I have a lot of time for him, and I don't really like Irish players very often.
Really,
believe it or not, yeah.
I love Irish players.
Really?
I always give them the benefit of that.
Yeah, I prefer not to give them the benefit of that. But they've started so well.
Speaking of Long, how long does Mark Hughes have in the job if he keeps looping like?
I like the little segues. I think you were working this before. Little segues.
Just hit me there. I have how long there, and you said long, and then I went long. Ooh, huh?
You couldn't get rid of him yet, could you? Now I know stranger things have happened, and QPR look like it, a panic station sort of team. Like, oh, we'll just get rid of him. We'll get somebody better. But you couldn't. You shouldn't. But they probably will.
We'd all rather managers didn't get sacked.
Yeah, and they have a good team of individuals. It just needs to come together a bit more.
What they need to do is get Martin O'Neill in.
They do. Oh, absolutely. And like Granero, great player.
Oh, brilliant! His goal was exceptional.
Super.
The other scorer was Tarapt. We were talking last week.
Yeah, we were.
He's still an arse.
Yeah. And it's funny because I was watching Match of the Day with my dad, and I said, geez, and I didn't know who had scored the goals at that point, the new scoreline. And I was saying to my dad, I was only saying, God, I just don't like him. He's woeful. And he went and scored a goal. So, still.
I think he likes proving people wrong. And
Yeah.
then as soon as he gets in the team, gets to run a game, it'd be like Adam Johnson again. Just run a games.
Yeah, whatever.
Bored now. Swansea 2, Reading 2. Jimmy Kebe didn't score.
He didn't.
I don't even think he had an assist, but it's just his presence on
Oh,
the
he's
pitch.
just unbelievable. He's just the best player in the world. I can't say it twice in a show.
Pogrebniak, though, with 4 goals so far.
Yep.
He's going to be very important for them, isn't he?
Absolutely. I think Fulham would be good to have missed out on him from last year when they had him on loan. Imagine if Berbatov, Pogrebniak combo. Now, not to say maybe they wouldn't have signed Berbatov had they held on to him, but absolutely. I feel like that was a game Swansea should have won.
Mm-hmm.
And Reading still, to be Reading are still looking for the first win, but that's an important point.
A point away from home is very
Absolutely.
good. And Noel Hunt getting a goal, and he looked so happy.
Yeah, he looked thrilled, didn't he?
I like him. I don't like Stephen Hunt. I like Noel Hunt because
Really?
he's just a little bit batty. He's bananas.
He is crazy. And the celebration now was crazy. You didn't know what was going on.
He's deadly. Who else played? Another 2-2 draw. Wigan versus Everton. I predicted a wobble for Everton, and you scoffed.
We scoffed at the Toffees. Did we scoff at the Toffees? There's my one. There you go. There's my one. I can play this game too, John O'Donnell.
Oh, okay. It's on.
We did scoff. The topics became unstuck, did they? I should be a tabloid writer. I should be a tabloid writer.
I'm losing. This shouldn't happen.
Go on.
What's Wigan's nickname again?
Latics.
The Ladix. Well, there was certainly some lactic acid.
Tell you what, maybe next team you can try it out. But Wigan's strike force is very impressive.
DeSanto.
And Aruna Kone is somebody I've bought, I think, in every FIFA game for the last 5 years. I love him. If not for his hair and his boots, nothing else.
But DeSanto, goal every other game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember years ago he used to score 3 goals a season?
If I'm not mistaken, and I don't think I am, he came from Chelsea, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. He when he first came to Wigan, he was pushed off the ball too easy, looked very skinny, looked short of confidence. But to me, he's a new player. He's very.
He seems to be benefiting from having another striker beside him. Where he's always had little guys around him.
Yeah, and he's not the biggest guy in the world himself.
Well, he's tall.
Okay.
He's slight.
On a scale of from Ramirez to Mertesacker, we'll put him somewhere on the scale. There, we'll get a scale going.
Okay.
But
it's gonna run and run.
Yeah, Kone was awesome.
Yeah, I thought they'd struggle without the likes of Moses and even Zogbia, who's
Rodiega as well.
Who've always been the pace behind them. But
yeah,
Kone's come in pace and power.
Yeah, he's very strong
and also finishing ability. Maloney's still running and buzzing about the place.
Yeah, although I think he was offside for his goal for Kone.
Let's just.
We'll leave it at that because he's great. I think he pink boots on and ballsy man to wear pink boots. So,
as far as Everton are concerned, Leighton Baines scored. Now
he was their best player,
and we've been talking about Cole being on the decline and also being an arsehole.
Yeah,
can Baines sneak in there for England? Do you think?
Yeah,
is he becoming the best left back in the Premier League?
You can certainly make a case for it. Absolutely, he was their best player. Stepped up to take a penalty against his former club, took it well. It was at the heart, to have a left back at the heart of everything creative you do says a lot about the left back, I think. And he can defend. So, as unfashionable a choice as it may be,
it's not that unfashionable. He has a stylish haircut, doesn't he?
No.
It's a mop top. Well, it was stylish back in the 60s.
Yeah, better. As unfashionable a choice as you may say it is, as some may say it is, I'd love to see him get the nod. Absolutely, but I just think at the moment, although Ashley Cole is in a bit of trouble, I still can't see that happening.
Okay, well, as I say, I thought Wigan would miss Moses more than they have. Moses was famous for parting the Red Sea, and I'm about to part this pod by bringing part 1 to a close with a brief musical interlude. Hello and welcome to part 2 of our Game Week 7 review. We've done Saturday's Premier League games. What say we crack on and spend a bit of time on Sunday's exploits, eh?
Hey,
Luke.
All right then, let's do it.
Hey, let's start with the big one.
Excited.
Let's start with the big one, the United derby.
The United derby? And
Yep.
you know what, Mark's not here to question that. It was the United derby.
Yep.
That's what it was billed as.
It was Newcastle United versus Manchester United. And usually we're very, very pro-United on Manchester United. That I could have proved them right there. We're pro Man United because all the other guests generally follow Man United, but you don't.
I don't.
You're going to have to pretend for now, though, because I follow Newcastle. We needed.
Well, we hammered you, didn't we? We made it look easy. These are rubbish. Win the league, win the treble.
Manchester bossed the first 20 minutes, but Newcastle, I think, had to maybe an hour after that where we were on top. It was all about the formations, though, wasn't it? With Rooney dropping in playing midfield.
And that's happening more now. And that could be eventually the way it goes. And I said before, Hernandez, Rooney, and Van Persie on the pitch together can definitely work. And I know they did it in the Champions League. And with Rooney dropping deeper, that could be a role he finds himself in.
And they added Kagawa. He was playing kind of to the right of the diamond, and I don't think that worked so well.
No, I think he's better sort of in the hole, as it were.
Yeah,
but
pulling the strings.
Everybody
wants to pull the strings.
Everyone wants to be that player, I suppose. Yeah, no, but he's tremendous talent though,
and cleverly as well. Like there's another player who likes pulling strings.
He does.
But Cleverly's goal, I just want to say this: Tim Krul would have saved that. There's just no doubt in my mind that Tim Krul would have got a hand to that, whereas old man Harper was.
Steve Harper's 6th game in the last 25 years or something like that.
In the wind, like
he was the number 2 when Shea Given was there, and I collected Premier League stickers.
What was great was when Kevin Keegan came back a few years ago.
Yeah,
this is a few years ago already. This is
yeah,
and he's going, "Oh, Steve Harper was here when I was here, and if you told me he'd be first choice keeper, I would have laughed at you." And then Given left, and then he was first choice
for a
keeper.
little while. Yeah.
Another thing, Newcastle were missing Colaccini. So
Yeah.
I think the first 2 goals wouldn't have happened.
If not,
This
for
is my thing.
no, that's a fair argument.
I mean, I may be clutching at straws here, but
No.
if people are pulling wires, I'm going to grab some strings. Pulling
And-
strings. They were pulling strings.
were.
I'm pushing the straws. Nobody was pulling anybody's wire. That's just...
He's part of Colin. He's part of a strong sort of centre spine, if you will.
Newcastle had this thing. Do you remember last year at the start of the season, the back 5 played the first 20 games, at least 14 games.
Yeah.
There was a completely unchanged back 5.
Mhm.
And they've had to chop and change every
A
week
lot, yeah,
through
yeah.
injuries. I think that's holding us back. Also, we moved to the 4-3-3 after the second goal, and that's when we started playing well. I don't know why we didn't start that way.
Yeah.
'cause most teams play 4-3-3.
4-3-3, yeah, it is absolutely.
The problem is you have to play CC on the right, and it's not really his position.
It's not, but he can score from anywhere. He's defied gravity on more than a few occasions.
I don't know why we didn't put Ben Arfa up against Evra as well. 'Cause
Oh yeah, because Everett is.
he's not having
He
his
certainly
best
wouldn't be
season.
starting for England. That's for sure.
Exactly.
He's
Same veins that have his spot.
he would have his spot. He looks to be knocking on, as it were. But Butner looks okay. It's too early to tell.
Oh, after his one game, yeah.
Yeah, it's far too early to tell. But hey, I'd take a chance on him at this point.
And another game of the day was Spurs beating Villa 2-0. It turns out Spurs had the better head.
yeah. To go back to last week when you put me in that awful position. Yes, they did.
They're looking good for Europe. They're on good form.
They are, and it worries me a little bit because they have had for the last number of seasons such a good squad, such a deep. You know, if a player's injured, somebody comes in, you kind of go, there you are.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not bad.
I mean, Dembele, Dempsey, and Sigurdsson
Are all fighting for
and
two
they're all
places.
quality players.
And Parker still has to come back.
Exactly. I mean, but they're all
Sandro hasn't looked bad at all.
no, and I mean there are question marks about him for a time there, but no, I mean. I have as maybe I shouldn't say, but I have a lot of respect and time for Spurs and what they do because they have, like, they're beating Liverpool to the signature of players. And like in Liverpool, okay, you might say they're a team that have,
Well, that was the board being stingy.
yeah, well, no, I know, but like usually the pull of Liverpool can attract some players, but no, Spurs they're looking the real deal.
And this match kind of reminded me of childhood trips to the countryside when I would see Bales tumbling. What do you think of his dive?
Well, it wasn't it? I think, let's
It
be
was
honest,
blatant.
it was not quite Suarez against.
It did seem more like bracing himself and then going, oh,
Yeah, no, I think I'd be.
although he dived.
Yeah,
Let's not get around it at all.
yeah, fair enough.
And because he's British on Match of the Day, they were going, nah,
yeah, well, let him have it.
cheeky little
Yeah,
fella.
yeah.
What's
Ruffling
he
his
like?
hair.
What's
Oh,
he
you.
like? Oh, don't do that again. It goes on, doesn't it? No.
Yeah.
It's against the rules. Villa.
Mhm.
They dropped Bent, went with Benteke.
Yeah.
Who would you have? Benteke away.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Well, if you're asking me, I suppose I'd have to take Benteke for form because absolutely he's been great so far. But no, I'd take Benteke.
He was a bit of a villain there when he missed that hair.
He
wasn't
was. Let's be honest, he was. But no, Benteke. Bent doesn't look the same player anymore. Now I know he had the injury layoff and whatever, and people laughed when they signed Benteke. I think he was top scorer in Belgium last year. People from
Who
Genk.
laughed?
A lot of people I spoke to about it. Now I know one Villa fan, and even he was a bit. Oh,
like, who's this
I
guy?
don't know how this could go. Like, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I knew loads about him, other than the fact he played, as I say, for Genk. But I mean, he's good. I'd take him at the moment.
I'm like him. He also suits the system better.
Yeah,
Whereas
absolutely.
Bent kind of needs somebody to play up with him.
Yeah.
Whereas Benteke, I'll do that on my own.
Oh yeah.
Another game on the Sunday was Liverpool 0, Stoke 0. Again, I predicted that Liverpool would be bullied, and it started pretty well with Hoot standing on Suarez.
Yeah. I think maybe Suarez now has become a victim of his own.
Well, I think they were kicking each other up to that point
True.
and beyond.
Yeah.
So like Suarez going, oh, he stood on me.
But I think it was definitely a yellow, if not worse.
And Suarez's dive, that was just funny.
Stop. It was one of the... You can say Bale was anticipating something else.
Yeah.
Suarez wasn't. Suarez was...
And he got up and started appealing. As far as I can say, once you appeal, yellow.
Absolutely. It was the definition of a flop more than... It wasn't even a dive. It was like a fish out of water.
He
Flop.
was halfway down and,
And he just
looked
sort of...
around
Yeah.
for 2 seconds. I went, I'll go.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'd been doing well, Liverpool, but now sort of slip back into...
Well, they're still without a home win. Is Rodgers under pressure?
Again, like Mark Hughes, I want to say no, but I just think Liverpool need to stick with someone. They need to have continuity.
Like I said, they're the new Newcastle. People scoffed at that, and I was like, nope, they're going to sack the manager every year.
Yeah, and you can't do that.
No, you can't.
You absolutely, you have to have for Liverpool. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
I think what will save him is that he got so much money off the wage bill and didn't spend any money. I know
But he also didn't
spend
really,
money.
Yeah, he probably should have spent a little bit more.
Yeah, well, it wasn't his choice.
No,
yeah.
I know.
Like when he wanted to buy that one player that he wanted to buy, they said no.
Yeah, and Suarez is a bit of an. He's so talented, you know. He frustrates me. He's so incredibly talented, and yet he can beat 3-4 players and then miss. Now,
he did that a few times as well.
Yeah. Now I haven't been a fancy team for reasons beyond myself as a striker, but he's great link up, great player. Oh, he frustrates me.
Something that frustrates me. Mm-hmm. Stoke aren't going to get relegated, are they?
No, I think they're here to stay again.
Mark was saying they're close to getting relegated. This when he was doing his season preview, I was like, "Yeah, I hope they go way down. I hope they get relegated into League One. That's how much I hate them."
Wow,
but no, they're staying.
You don't like them, no?
Oh, I hate them.
I don't hate them at all. And maybe I don't. Why?
Because just they get away with stuff that other people don't get away with. They just stand in the box and foul people, and then they score only from set pieces where they've been dragging out of players and kicking players and standing on players.
I suppose maybe, but I'm just going to expect it almost.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have to put up with this.
Yeah, but they're not going to come out and try and play off the park now, are they? Peter Crouch and Michael Owen up front.
Two teams who did try and play each other off the park. Southampton 2, Fulham 2. That was a match. I only saw the highlights. It looked like one of the best matches.
That's because they're two teams who play Southampton play very well. Very, very good team.
If it wasn't for Højlund sticking the ball in the net,
he's
rivaling Jamie Carragher for goals. Neither side seemed to play with a defensive midfielder either. It
was a bit of a free for all. We'll attack, you'll attack.
We didn't score. It was like basketball.
Yeah, it was fun to watch it. I don't think they'd want their entire seasons to be like that now because they might find themselves in a bit of trouble. But it was an entertaining
little game.
Yeah, entertaining.
I did enjoy it. Well, I enjoyed the 20 minutes of highlights I saw.
Yeah.
Well, that result will hopefully have satisfied Fulham chairman Mohammed Al Fayed. And we hope you're not all fed up with this because we'll be back in a second to look forward to Ireland's game with Germany in just a second. I already said a second. I'm going to say another second. A second.
See you in a second, so.
That's a third second. Oh, okay. Hello and welcome to part 3 of Backpage Pass Game Week 7 review. Usually we look ahead to the next set of Premier League games at this stage, but that's ages away. So we're going to examine the Republic of Ireland's clash with Germany. Hey Luke, you're optimistic, right?
Yeah, well,
I've just shown you the starting line.
I love to. People say I love to Ireland bash, and I nearly predicted Euro 2012 correctly for Ireland. But come on,
we got to go.
I think that was one more than I said. I think, wasn't it?
Yep.
I think any midfield trio of McCarthy, Fahy, and Keith Andrews is asking for trouble.
Well, let's just talk people through it in case they haven't heard yet. Westwood is starting in goal. Coleman is starting at right back. O'Shea and O'D are centre halves. Ward at left back. McCarthy, Andrews, and Fahy are likely to be centre. Well, he named the starting 11. He didn't say what formation.
Yeah, of course, you know.
It could be McCarthy and Andrews in the middle with Fahy on the left and McGeady on the right, or it could be a 3 of McCarthy, Andrews, and Fahy with McGeady on the left, Cox on the right, and Walters up front. Or Walters could go right, Cox could come in the middle. Anything could happen. Cox could come in the middle.
Good.
Anyway,
whose head's better there, buddy?
But yeah, so you were thinking that midfield tree isn't good enough.
It's going to get steamrolled. That's if that was a Premier League trio together.
Yeah,
two
of them aren't in the Premier League.
They would lose to a lot of teams. Oh, they would lose the ball. I mean, that is to say.
Well, I want to disagree with you. I mean, probably Germany will be too good for them. But I rate Fahy has never let us down, and McCarthy is...
Yeah, but he's never let us down, but what has he ever done
McCarthy is actually one of the better
midfielders. McCarthy is one of the better players there, no doubt.
Like, not even in the squad. In the Premier League, when it comes to midfielders, just that out midfielder, whereas usually you have a defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder. He's neither of those things. He's just a midfielder.
What, and you think he's...
I did a thing. I'm going to put this in the description of the YouTube video and on the Facebook. Rating his performance last season against the top 6 teams, central midfielders, and he came out. I mean, he was better than some of them, and okay against others. There were obviously some a lot better than him. Man City's were obviously
that's fine.
But he held his own against Manchester United in stat wise.
Yeah, okay, that's I accept that.
I mean, the team isn't set up for him is the problem.
No.
that'll be going over his head for the majority.
McGeady, 2 goals and 1 assist, I think, in 46 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. But no, he
Go on. So what does he have?
He relieves pressure. He takes the ball from our box and gets it to their box.
Beats a player, then it goes out for throw-in, and it's usually not ours.
Yeah, but it's a throw-in in their half as opposed to a throw-in in our half.
What does that say about the sort of mentality you have? But let's not get them in.
Let's get the ball forward without hoofing it. It gives people a chance to get up with them. And
I think you're defending them too much.
I am.
And again, I don't want to hate. I don't want to hate Ireland.
Every time I bash him, every time I go, right, I don't care anymore. McGeady can go to hell. He actually genuinely does something then.
Yeah. Okay. I like Cox. It works hard.
Yeah. And he's been scoring some wonder goals in the championship.
The championship.
But no, he's been playing amazingly. Like, he never got a goal at West Brom.
Okay, again, I'm not disagreeing with that, but the championship is such a... The championship, actually, I've heard 2-3 MLS players say the championship is what the MLS is.
There you go.
Yeah, but the MLS isn't brilliant. Yeah, the MLS has drafted American kids and a few superstars. Like, again, okay, I actually like against Cox. Simon Cox it's a good choice, but just
not on the wing.
Not on the wing, and even Walters is a good choice.
Yeah, but I don't like Walters so much. I'd rather have Shane Long up there. I think that's
absolutely. That's one thing I was going to say. I'd even put Shane Long on the wing.
On the wing, yeah, where Cox is.
He runs up and down a lot.
Yeah. And he'll win headers.
Yeah, the 2 wing-back positions, Ward and Coleman, I've seen worse.
Yeah.
I've seen far worse.
I'd like to see Wilson in instead of Ward, but
yeah,
it's good. I really wouldn't have expected Trapp to pick Coleman in a million years.
Yeah. And I'm glad he has, though. And Ward is a bit solid if unspectacular. I think that's the best way you could describe him.
Well, we let's talk about the players who were missing, because those are players who win, but obviously Given and Duff retired. But then Keane, Dunn, St. Ledger, Whelan, Doyle, McLean, they'd all have a pretty good chance of starting, and they're all injured.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy some of them are injured.
Oh, so am I. Whelan doesn't have a footballing brain.
No.
Again?
Keane, I'm glad Keane's
out.
out.
Delighted Keane's out.
McLean.
Sad he's not included because he can make things happen.
I'd like to see him on the bench.
Okay, well that's still fair enough. Still bad. You really like Keith Fahey, don't you?
I do like Keith Fahey, but you're not going to start McLean in the middle.
No, okay, no, I understand that. Who else are we missing?
Doyle, we're kind of missing Doyle. I think we're definitely missing Dunn.
Absolutely.
St. Ledger, I'd probably start St. Ledger. Although I'd like to see O'Shea and Dunn as our first choice centre halves. Players who are on the bench, but these are players who are getting a chance now, who could potentially get on the pitch, who are lucky they're in the squad with Trapattoni.
Yeah.
Clark, Wilson, Robbie Brady, Mailer, Clifford.
It's young.
I mean, yeah, and they're all good players. They
play
are. Football.
They can. I don't know if, and I mean, I need the actual facts. I don't recall Clifford ever playing an senior international game. Although I could definitely be wrong.
I think he played a friendly.
Maybe friendly. Don't recall Brady either. May have been a friendly.
Played against Oman. And ran the show.
Yeah. Okay, but Germany's a different proposition, and it's a World Cup qualifier.
Yeah. Cool.
Last half hour, by all means, throw him on. And actually, Mailer, I remember his injury for Sunderland. I was against United. I think it was like 9 months.
But he's not even starting for Sunderland.
But he looked promising then. Now, it takes a long time to come back from an injury. But I'm glad to see him back.
Ligaments.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad to see him back, though.
Nice to see him in the squad as well. Just even there.
Yeah, confidence boost, as it were.
Yeah, let's talk about the opposition now, because this is where it gets scary. Like, I don't think the Irish team is the worst Irish team we've had. I think it's the best Irish team we've had in a long while. Whelan isn't in it. And other players aren't. Keane isn't.
Okay, well, just tell me where the imagination comes from. Tell me where the
McCarthy can pick out a pass. Fahey's very clever. Andrews is very straightforward.
Okay, and then tell me who of those trio defends well.
Andrews is a good screener. He'll get in there and just knock players about and stuff.
Okay,
I
think you're being overly positive, but okay.
If you put him on Uzzle won't. Yeah, but
go on, say that again. Say that one more time with a straight face.
No, if you put him on Uzzle, he'll take Uzzle out of the game. But then
if Ronaldo didn't play for Real Madrid, I think Uzzle will be their best player. Might be a stretch. Definitely their most creative. He is an unbelievable football player.
Yeah, but if he doesn't get the ball, because Andrews is kicking him.
Okay.
Right, but yeah, Germany. I was looking at this. What kind of medals their squad won last year.
Yeah, okay.
Two other players were part of the Dortmund team who amassed 81 points in the Bundesliga, and that's the greatest tally ever in the Bundesliga history.
Back-to-back titles as well.
And they had a 28-match unbeaten sequence in that, and it's a record as well. And then they completed the double by beating Bayern Munich 5-2 in the cup final.
Yep.
And then two of those players from that squad are missing as well, Hummels and Bender. So okay.
Okay.
And then 7 players
made the Champions League final.
Champions League final, runners-up in the league, runners-up in the cup. And then 2 of the players were part of the Madrid team who won La Liga with a record number of points and goals.
Would that be Khedira and Ozil?
Yeah. And then 2 of the lads played for Mönchengladbach, and Royce was one of them, and he got German Player of the Year. So, if you discount those 11 players...
Yeah.
13 players.
Yeah.
We have a chance.
Okay. Lamb, I assume, is starting left back?
Yeah.
Best left back in the world.
I would say, if I was picking the team, I'd have Lamb right back and Schmelzer left back. But
okay.
I'm not picking the team.
You're not picking the team. We're not in that position. You have Neuer, I can never say probably.
Neuer.
One of the better goalies in the world. Absolutely top. Best left back in the world, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They've also got the creativity of Ozil. They've got the work rate, creativity, and defensive awareness of Schweinsteiger.
He can pick out. He's one of the best passers. He's a better passer than Pirlo.
Götze gets the nod.
Götze or Royce.
Yeah, I think that's pick your poison there.
Mm-hmm.
Khedira is an underrated defensive midfielder.
Who underrates him? He's amazing.
I've heard a lot of people underrate him. Would you believe me?
I don't.
When you think Real Madrid, you think of. Okay, he's in a galaxy of stars there, but he does a really solid job, really well. I like him. I'm not somebody who underrates him, but he gets forgotten about very often.
And then you're gonna have Bad Stupor. Mertesacker's actually on form for once.
Yeah, incredibly.
Podolski, who's having a great season.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna beat us.
Well, look, they probably are. But
I'd like a performance out of those players that we have. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Which
now,
we
see the players we've just spoken about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great play. And then you see 2 of our midfielders playing the Championship, and 1 plays in the MLS. And one of our centre-backs plays in the MLS.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not going to the game.
John O'Shea won the Champions League once.
He did? Oh, John O'Shea's one of our better players.
Yeah.
And I think, he's in his early 30s now?
Yep.
So, he's had better days, but he's still one of our better players.
He's in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Who else have we got?
But he was beaten by Celtic.
Yeah, he was.
And really had a very poor game. Very poor.
Really. Nerves.
Yeah, well.
That's my excuse. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to struggle.
Yeah. Now, I actually said on Tuesday, speaking to some people, I believed we could draw before I'd seen the team.
We'll beat the Faroe Islands. We'll hammer them.
We will.
That's going to go well.
That's a win.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll struggle.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Well, there we have it.
A bit of a down note to end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Very down note.
If Ireland had Nathan Dyer, Frankie De Santo,
Jimmy Kebe,
I think we'd win the World Cup, but it's just not going to... It's just...
Not this week. No, but like I said, Brady, Moyler, Clifford, coming through. Mm-hmm. It could all go well in the future. Clark,
there's
Wilson.
cause for optimism. Absolutely. Just maybe not right now.
In a few years. This is my thing. I always thought Trapattoni, before the Euros, people were saying we should sack him before the Euros and get a good manager in. I'm like, he's a winner. Didn't really work out. But I think he has the best chance of getting us to the World Cup. But after that, he's got to go because we're going to have young players who want to play football coming through. We're going to need a manager who wants to play football to introduce them.
Jose Mourinho, I think, would be the dreamer.
We'll just snap him up.
Why wouldn't he want to play for us? No, come to us, sorry.
Yeah, he was near England. I know he said he wants to manage England. But
I'm with you.
Anyway, there we have it. We've summed up everything there is to know about football for yet another week. We may not be back next week because it's kind of hard to fill a pod during international weeks because there's only 2 games. But we might surprise you. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page to make sure you don't miss out. And I've been John O'Donnell with Luke Duffy, and we'll talk to you again soon.
See you later.